Hey friends, welcome back. So for the past couple of months, I have been so busy with life and traveling and all of that good stuff. And sadly, my garden had been neglected and I missed some optimal planting dates for my fall crops. However, all is not lost. There are still a few crops that we can get in the ground and within 60 days still get us a good harvest. So today I'm going to share those crops with you and show you how I got my garden back in shape. All right, so here we go. This is everything that we're planting today. I have crops that grow within 60 days, and then I have a few honorable mentions over here that grow just a little bit outside of 60 days, like 75 days or so. So I wanted to make sure that I tell you guys about those because I'm going to be planting those as well. We have our leafy greens. This is iceberg lettuce and romaine lettuce. I have broccoli, strawberries, mustard greens, and I have pole bean seeds here that have been soaking for about 3 days because that helps them to germinate better. And then over here, these are all of our ones that grow within 60 days. And for honorable mentions over here, I have cabbage, collard greens, and carrots. All of these grow within about 75 days or so. And then I have onions back here, which they take a very long time, but I need to get some in the ground, so we're going to do those as well. And obviously, because we want a fast turnaround, I'm starting with plants that have already been grown from my local nursery. I'm trying to minimize seeds. I am doing a few, but trying to minimize seeds and just going with plants that have already been germinated and sprouted so that we can get us a harvest quickly. All right, but before we get the crops in, we got to get this garden cleaned up. Y'all, when I say the garden was neglected, the garden was neglected. This was only about 2 months, and this is really a shame, but we're about to get it all back in order. And while I'm getting that all cleaned up, this is a great opportunity to remind you guys to subscribe. If you enjoy homemaking, DIY, or design, then hit the subscribe button and join me here every week for inspo and ideas on creating the home of your dreams. All right, we got it all cleaned out, and I won't tell y'all how long it took, but I will say just try to stay on top of things because you're gonna work a little bit harder to get it back how you need it. But everything is cleaned out. I've turned over all the soil in every one of the beds, and now I'm actually just going to be putting a little bit of fresh soil and some fresh fertilizer in every bed. But before I do that, I want to make sure that I soak it because these beds are pretty dry. We haven't had any rain, so I'm going to soak them down, wet the soil real good before we plant anything. All right, so now for the fun part. Now we get to start planting. So if you have been around here any length of time, then you know that whenever I plant anything, I always use Biotone starter fertilizer. I swear by this stuff. I actually found this from Laura over on Garden Answer. If you want to know anything about gardening, follow her page. Follow her channel. She is amazing. But I start everything with that. So I'm just going to get all of my plants in the ground. One thing to consider whenever you're planting and you have a lot of crops like I do, there are some things that plant well together. So for instance, in my lettuce beds, for my romaine and my iceberg, I'm also going to be adding onions in there because they are great companion crops for one another. Like they keep bugs away. Companion plants keep bugs away from other plants. So that is just something to think about. So anyway, I'm going to get it all planted and then we're going to be done with this garden transformation.
May you always always find your way to higher ground. May you always keep your head held up high. Pretty little thing, you're a diamond in the rough, shining from within. I can tell that you're tough. Just the sight of you when I'm at my...
So that is it. That is how I got my garden back in shape. As you can see, she looks pretty and beautiful now, and hopefully we will have us quite a few vegetables in a couple of months. So thank y'all so much for joining me for this video, and I will see you on the next one.
Weakest point makes a world of difference, so you make me strong. Pretty little thing, you're a diamond in the rough, shining from within. I can tell that you're tough.